Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Coach's Box. Ray Halbrook here with Livestream STL. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday evening here. Had to call another one of those audible things due to the weather and whatnot, but we are here for another great episode of the Coach's Box, number 63. We're going to dedicate this one to the great memories and graduations and all of the fun folks over here, all the different schools that we've been a part of. And guys, I see the guys here. They are calling the audible as well, and we are ready to rock and roll. How is everybody over here?
Good.
Good
Well.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
School's out.
For summer.
Doing
There you go. I like it.
Definitely, we want to make a huge congratulations to all the 2021 high school graduates. I know last weekend, this week, there were a bunch of high school graduations around the county and around the St. Louis area. So I want to give a big shout out to all those high school graduates and best of luck to them in their future endeavors, whatever that may be. So I definitely want to give a huge shout out to that.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
you made it
nice.
through 2021. You didn't die of COVID, so
That's great.
it's always a plus.
great.
Didn't die of COVID.
Yeah,
COVID?
especially over at Pius where we had the super spreader.
Yeah. No
Hey,
doubt.
no,
hey,
those
just
spreader
FYI.
events.
Still marked safe from the super spreader event.
Still here, man. Didn't
What was
die.
that? Was that February? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was February. It was after the
Still-
R7 game.
Still marked safe. It was the R. It was.
It
the
was.
R7.
You know, I
It
want
was-
to. I wish I knew.
You had already given COVID to everyone before that.
Okay, let's actually fact check that.
Survey
Hey,
said.
who walked in whose office?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you came into our office. And
And I was
everybody
invited.
else
And I was.
yeah, didn't know that you had it.
I didn't have
Apparently
it.
you did.
I didn't have it until
Whatever you
several
want to say.
several days after your event.
Whatever you want to say.
Hey, I don't know. They say those symptoms. You know, you could not have anything from 0 to 14 days. You could have.
Oh, he called me too. Oh, I'm sick. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, thanks to the Post Dispatch for, saying that we had a super spreader event in February. We didn't.
No.
But, hey, it worked out. I think people gave some contributions.
Nice.
They did. I was
Yeah, it
really
turned out
happy
to be
about that.
a blessing in disguise.
It
I
was.
guess, right?
Yeah, it was very lucrative. So
Thank you.
appreciate their political agendas
Thank you so
for not actually reporting the real news. And it really helped a bunch of kids in their education.
Thank you to the Post Dispatch.
Yeah.
We forgot
Right.
to turn
Shout
the
out
light
to the
on
Post
there. There we
Dispatch.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
for
hey-
being morons.
Shout out to Mr. Page.
The man, Mr. Sam, Dr. Sam Page.
Yeah.
Like it.
Well, our first segment here. Who's sponsored in this segment here, Riley?
This sponsorship is Home by SMCI.
Oh,
Lawrence
yeah.
Crodinger out there at Home by SMCI. We don't have the infamous sticker on the computer sitting up here, but
Where's your computer at?
we'll
I don't know.
we'll mention that Lawrence Crodinger down there in DeSoto at Home by SMCI is the sponsorship of our local segment here for the month of May. So this will be his last sponsorship for the month. We are looking for sponsorships for the month of June for each segment and the show. So if you would like to be a sponsor on our show, feel free to contact one of us or Ray. We're at Livestream STL, and we would love for you to have to sponsor our show and or a segment of the show. So we appreciate Lawrence Crodinger and Home by SMCI for their sponsorship for the month of May.
Are we doing the giveaway tonight? You doing a giveaway today?
Yes, we are.
All
Yes,
right.
we
I
are.
don't
me-
have a
Let me.
wheel.
We get one. We'll get one.
We'll
have a computer.
we got Amy
We
here.
can
We'll have her spin
improvise.
the
We
wheel.
got paper.
So there you go.
We can
All
make
right.
it work.
Pick a name out of the hat.
You can kind of tell here, folks, that
don't know how we can see
we threw
who's
this
entered.
together at the last second,
We can get
but
it.
we're
Later
gonna have a
than
good show
normal,
tonight.
right?
A little
Say
later.
later than normal.
It's good stuff. Good
Well,
stuff.
I mean, it was last minute. Thought
It was
we were
last
going to
minute.
have
That's
a
okay.
recorded episode.
Hey,
You were ready for a recorded episode, really?
We didn't know.
I don't know. What do you want me to do?
We were
Would you
waiting.
rather have a recorded episode tonight?
No, that's why we didn't have ready for the
I mean,
giveaway or anything.
We called a rayable.
Hey!
hold on. Ding.
Hey! Very good. I like that one. Arrayable.
Once in a while, I come up with something.
Hey.
Hey,
Made his
blind-
contribution for the week.
Yep, blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
And then most of them
That
died
sounds like
from
the
hunger.
Cardinals lately, but that's for later on.
Oh.
Hey,
that's
Tyler
like-
O'Neill's back, baby. Seriously, how much have they missed it?
Oh, big
They
time.
have.
Right.
Big time.
I hate to say it, they have.
That just sounds like the movie Little Big League.
Hey, and
you know
what? DeYoung, stay hurt. We'll just keep playing Sosa, baby.
got to.
Yep.
So let's talk a little bit about high school baseball.
Hey, congratulations to all these baseball teams, these
Yeah.
county teams winning districts, playing in the postseason,
Ouch.
winning some postseason games. That's
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, it's
What?
awesome to see that.
Yeah, it's
well,
great
first
to
of
see
all, we've had,
R7
what,
win.
three? We have three teams in the county that have won districts. So it would be Crystal City.
Yeah.
Crystal City lost in the sectional, 5-4 to Meadow Heights? Or was it 6-5? I think
6-5,
6-5.
Yeah,
Sorry.
6-5.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, 6-5 in a heartbreaker. And then R7 defeated St. Pius in
On
the
a-
district championship.
Yep.
And then won their sectional game
Against Cuba with the
against Cuba
walk-off.
with a walk-off. Yeah. So, and then we got Festus coming out.
Good old
Supposed-
Tigers.
Yeah, supposed to be playing tomorrow.
Surprised you
whether-
got
They
your
are going to
Letterman
be
jacket
playing.
on.
They're
Weather
going to play
permitting.
Saturday.
Saturday.
I might be able to fit in it now.
Oh, I keep thinking today's Friday.
Yeah. They're playing Saturday, and that will be on
Yes.
live stream STL.
Yes.
basically.
We kept
Jeffco.
saying that last night when we were here.
Yep.
Right here by the wonderful picture I sent out and celebrating the Herculaneum graduates.
Yeah.
And all of us teachers came in here and ate some lapachanga.
And we got a shout out from graduation last night.
I know William
About that?
Reese there
Yeah.
gave the coach's box
About that?
and he was lying because I'm not paying for anyone's food.
No,
Blair, hey, Blair has all that big Pepsi money.
Oh, come
Pepsi money, man. Pepsi money, 3 sports. He's got it.
Oh, gosh. Here we go.
Got it covered.
Here we go.
But going forward, I tell you what. Now I don't know how many times you've got a chance to see some of the local athletes, but having an opportunity finally see some high school baseball, watching the Pius R7 district championship game. Talk about 2 quality teams, but you talk about a standout athlete, boy. Kobe Ott, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
is.
can fling it.
He signed with Jeffco, I believe. With
Yep.
Coach
Yes.
Bone.
I tell you what,
Coach Bone's going to have to find
I'm not gonna
some
miss him.
innings.
Yes.
I'm not going
Yes.
to miss facing him in basketball.
Nope.
He always went off against
Nope.
us. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a good job for, I don't know, a game and 3 quarters. And then he scored about 17 points in the fourth
Oh,
quarter
we
of the last
we
game we
lose
played.
to him by 4 this year, but it was hot. I mean, he was the difference.
Yeah,
And
he's
every
pretty good.
time they needed a big shot, every time we'd pull in within 1 or 2, he'd hit a 3 or he'd get fouled. And he has ice water in his veins when
Yeah,
he
has that.
he
I can
plays
turn
turkey
it on.
and it's like he's smiling, man. No matter what sport, football, basketball, or baseball.
He was just fun to watch baseball. I mean, you had 4 quality pitchers that threw that night, and then when Kobe comes in, it's just you just see like, yeah, that's a college player, and he's a real deal. But that's not to take away everybody else, because Pius has some really, really good players. I know they're young. I think, Chris, you were saying they had maybe graduated a handful.
Yeah, I think
R7. go
3
ahead.
starters
Three
that are graduating, but bringing a lot of kids back, and I think they're going to be a lot better next year just because they played a lot of younger kids.
And I think over the county, you got Herky's really young.
Yeah.
You have Festus, who's playing a lot of young kids. The Moore kid. There's Bates kid over there. I mean, they're playing a bunch of young kids. So county baseball is going to be on the upswing, I believe, for the next couple of years. And you got some really good coaches out there with baseball. And I just think the county's going to be contending for some things in the next couple of years.
You gave a test out to Jefferson R7 for their first ever baseball district championship, and then won a sectional game on a walk-off, and then play tomorrow
Playing a
down at Kelly.
quality Kelly team.
Yeah.
I
Kelly's
think
pretty good.
Ranked number 3 in the state. I was
Right.
reading that somewhere. Can't remember where I read it, but they beat Saxony Lutheran, who I want to say was maybe number 1, number 2 in the state.
I think they were number 1.
Okay,
I think they
think
were 1
about
or
that.
2.
You playing number 1 and number 3 in the same district.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, so they're definitely loaded as well, and
They're going to go into at this time of year when games go back to back like that, you've got to have more than one arm, and so you'll be interested to see. Does Kelly have another arm to go? Does R7 have another arm ready to go?
From what I know, I think Kelly's good up and down the lineup from 1 through 8.
I know they can hit. I know they can flat out hit.
I know a guy who actually does their play-by-play, and he said they're pretty good.
Good.
So, I mean, if R7 beats them, hey, I mean, all the credit. They have a good group of seniors.
And Coach Coonley does a great job out there. I mean, just continue to build.
You're looking at Festus, and Festus has Summit, and Summit is 16-14. Festus is 15-14. It's at Jefferson College, which I think favors Festus. You know, I think that could be it. You know, who knows? I mean, I know Summit beat Parkway West 11-1. But, I mean, Festus is on a win streak. Yeah. I mean, and
baseball, anything
Festus was the number 5 seed coming into the district play and knocked off all the way through.
DeSoto, who's the number 1 seed, a 20-game winner.
They're on a 5-game winning streak after losing to DeSoto. Yeah. And then they went and played Perryville, and they haven't lost since.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they're kind of on a roll, and that's what teams do. I mean, if you get on a roll like that.
Right time.
It's the beauty part about baseball. You know, it's not who's 6'4", 250 across the O-line, D-line, and who's running a 4.40 or whatever. I mean, baseball is just that sport that you could be that 6'4" guy, or you could be that 5'10" guy, and on any given day.
You know, I think it's as a coach, and I'm not speaking for Coach Montgomery or anything else, but you got to think that this is a pretty special one when you're not considered to even be in the hunt.
You're the 5 seed. I mean,
and you win a district, and you're having a chance to play a sectional at Jeffco close by, and with a winnable game, and you got to think as a coach, you're thinking, man, this is one of my most memorable moments, as a coach, because you take a team that wasn't really expected to do it, and the kids have bought in here late and done some really quality things, and I'll be curious to see how R7 does tomorrow, and then in that Festus game on Saturday. I think it's going to be fun to see. Hopefully, we get 1 or 2 of them.
And you got R7's 10 of their last 11,
mm-hmm. Right?
So they're on a roll.
They're on a roll. So it brings up maybe a talking point here. So 2 different dynamics, right? So R7 definitely being senior laden. You have the success that they've already had in football, going to the Final Four in football.
And they were good
in basketball. So a lot of those guys have already been through the ringer, so to speak, versus maybe a younger team in Festus that may not know any better. What do you want to coach?
Well,
what type of team? A team that, we're supposed to be here, we know what's going on, or maybe a team that's like, hey, let's go have fun. There's nothing to lose.
Well, I think either way, you're going to be happy to coach whatever team you're coaching there. And them young guys have just put them on their back.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, I think the biggest thing about it is those young kids, they're just out there playing the game. They're not overthinking and they're not overanalyzing. They're just absolutely playing the game.
And if you know anything about those kids, especially the Festus kids, they've all been playing baseball. A lot of them have been playing together for years.
And
a lot of them have been playing baseball since, a lot of them are my son's age, so that he's had to play baseball against them. And baseball has been a big sport of that group, especially that sophomore group.
Yes.
And then you got some freshmen sprinkled in there. You got some juniors and seniors. And, Festus it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to watch, see what they can do.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's one of those things. I'm sorry to interrupt.
You're fine.
But the, our first season doing summer baseball, we had no idea what that was going to bring with 253 going to the World Series either. And sometimes it's not how you start; it's how you finish.
Right.
And they really, and I think they only had they didn't win the state, but that particular year you get to bring two from the state. And so, you can in that situation, you can kind of take a lick for once and then still advance. But, again, it's kind of not how you start, it's how you finish. And I know that, Festus, we opened with Festus up at Lutheran South, and that was, you just kind of saw they'd win a few, they'd lose a few. They'd win a few, they'd lose a few here and there. And sometimes you just got to battle through like that, and then all of a sudden – you hit your stride, and like the Blues.
Well, you also think
253 it helped to have Jordan Duncan.
They're not going to have him this year.
They're not going to have him this year. I was talking about the year you're talking about, the World Series.
You also got to
raking.
You also got to think that these young kids, from Festus, St. Pius and R7 or Herculaneum.
Well-
those kids they lost out a year last year too.
Yeah.
So
They were hungry.
So at the very beginning of the year, you saw some teams that were younger, still trying to learn everybody and learn everybody's arms
Right.
and learn everybody's different mentality of the game. So I think as the season progressed, you saw some coaches making some adjustments and some changes in the lineup, where they play at, and I thought that, down at the stretch, those younger classmen is what carried these teams through. And that's just because of the experience of the game that they had. And I think that's that's an attest to, those kids that are having success, have been playing this game for a long time and have been a part of successful programs that are successful coaches that have taught them the game and to make them understand that. I think that's the whole point.
In coaching as well. I mean, let's talk about the alma mater. Talk about Festus all the time. Talk about some Crystal City action over here. You've got Weiss, first-year head coach over there.
We got Willie Pruno over there as the
Billy,
assistant.
yeah. And I tell you, but you could go and look at the stats, and I think Basson, he was
Hunter Basson.
definitely top 3, maybe definitely top 5, because you had Basson, you had was it Hunter from DeSoto, and there was
Hunter Dill, yeah.
and somebody else. There was there was 3 guys in the JCC that I want to say was top 5, top 6, at least definitely top 10 in the entire St. Louis area in a lot of offensive categories, namely average.
You're about to give away all of our Main
Basson.
Street sports stuff for tomorrow night.
Well,
Basson,
okay.
Basson,
And
was,
pause.
Basson was 563
What's Main Street
average.
sports?
He's the highest in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, I mean,
But, I think that,
he signed somewhere.
That's
I
what I have
believe.
to say about that, Miller.
but we haven't talked much about Crystal City. And,
Sorry.
I think it's Crystal City, had a special year, really, honestly.
They ended up 15-9. I mean, they played some good games. The Herculaneum game was really entertaining. The first time they just kind of put it on us, and then the next time they lost to Herky. And, they beat some teams, and they did what they do when they're playing this bigger school schedule that they play.
Yep.
Yes.
And then they get into the season where they're playing schools their size. It helps them in basketball, helps them
in all
in baseball,
sports,
it
sure.
even helps them in football, even though that's a numbers game, and that's just a different animal. But basketball and baseball, it's helped them.
Yeah.
Well, and then losing that heartbreaker, the other night,
6-5, the Meadow Heights.
and I know that they were hoping they could get one more chance to maybe to advance to the Final Four. But I thought it was awesome to see, just to build excitement back around baseball, because Crystal City was pretty solid about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more than that. Maybe
Well,
when
they
were
2010, they won one.
State.
2000, they won state.
Yeah, so you go back and you look at the history of Crystal City baseball, and you see a lot of success. And so, it was nice to see that success starting to come back a little
Well,
bit.
it's good.
and-
It's
You
good
go
for
back-
them
hold on.
to see
You-
without
you're-
R7.
I guess yes. Well, Alex Winkleman. Let's
Yes.
just go ahead and start there, because that was after R7. You Rothweiler and Winkleman and that
Winkleman
group.
was a R7 kid, I think.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I thought, R7 started, because I remember coaching against him, and older Graves was there, but then also Winkleman was in his senior year, and all those guys. I mean, they were great at basketball, because that was Samples, that group.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about a group of
Oh,
kids.
dude, we
Yeah.
were. It wasn't just basketball and baseball.
I know,
Football, we were
football.
raking it
Oh,
too,
yeah.
and track.
Yeah.
I mean, and it wasn't just boys; it was girls. And I mean, Crystal was getting the prime athletes from R7, and we were, when we went to that day that those kids would come over and tour. R7 students would tour all the schools.
Oh, yeah. I've been a
And
part
dude,
of
we
it.
rolled the freaking carpet
know.
out for them at Crystal, and we
Sounds like recruiting.
it was.
It was. You were recruiting for one of
It
the
was.
three.
Man. Feeder school recruiting. Can't do that. Private school.
Oh, there's plenty.
Go
of
back to your
recruiting.
phone, Chris.
Right.
Go back and deal with
I know we've been talking about. You can tell we've been talking about baseball. He's over here.
peanut gallery over here.
Yeah.
I do think, as you were talking about these guys progressing throughout the year, I look at Herky as a squad that a lot of those kids have been in those positions in the two sports they played before. Mm-hmm. You have Deering, you have Jarvis, who played a bunch in basketball, and Dylan Black played a bunch for the basketball team. And you got kids that started in other sports, and I think it carried over, and they had confidence. By the time they got to baseball, they're like, we're supposed to be on varsity. Oh, so what? We're sophomores, and I think it helps when they play other sports and they lead in those sports also.
And I think Coach Rhodes wants to give a shout-out to Billy Pruno for a shout-out for a great coaching job. It always helps to have a veteran coach on the sidelines, especially a first-year coach, have a veteran underneath you to kind of guide you a little bit, and then just as a mentorship more than anything else. And I think that's an important thing. But
Weiss knows his baseball, too.
Oh, yes, he sure does. But I'm saying is it's helpful to have somebody that's a veteran of the county, a veteran of the, the local community. I know he's a very avid supporter of our show, and so I definitely want to give
great. He don't like the fall forward, just by the way. He praised me for slamming you on that one. And I was really happy when I saw him at the game because we played Crystal right after that. And he goes, thank God you were telling him not to fall. I was like, yes, Coach Pruno. He used to live in my subdivision, and his wife and him, they're such good people. And I hated it when they moved out. But, he's a great guy. Oh, Coach Pruno is
big, But I think the biggest thing about the local high school baseball is, we talked about this. I think about 4 or 5 weeks ago that, baseball has kind of been a highlight of Jefferson County sports in the last, I'll say, 10 years. Mm-hmm. I think baseball has been kind of our big highlight as far as success, whether it be during the school season or in the summer. I think you've seen baseball kind of take over the successful portion of it.
Cross country's been.
Well, it's always been there.
Yeah.
But you think about as far as on an overall form of it, I think you've seen baseball kind of turn that page a little bit in the last 10 years, considering that. So, and I think that has a lot to do with the success of baseball, starting those kids out playing at a younger age. And I think that is a huge thing for them and for those kids. And I can guarantee you ask those kids, I think it's important to them to play in the off season and to build that momentum moving into school ball.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely.
Shout out to all the local high school teams this season, and best of luck to our 7 tomorrow and Festus on Saturday. Yep. So
and track,
hopefully we can bring 2, and then
big school tracks coming up.
They started
weekend?
Today, tomorrow, and Saturday.
Well, and you were talking about baseball, and I mean, you had some district championships in track too. I mean, it's been quite the spring season for Jefferson County sports, I believe.
It has, and I tell you what, I mean, and I think this is an attest to the coaches in the spring sports. They missed out on an entire season last year, and they came out with a hungry attitude and got those kids excited about have an opportunity to play, and I think it showed down the stretch. And as to me as a player, as a coach, I mean, I think that you see the excitement amongst kids that they missed out on last year, but you've seen the excitement out of them this year, and I think that's awesome to witness, because you hated it last year for those kids to be able to miss out on an entire season that they'll never be able to get back regardless.
Well, I mean, Coach Bone and Herky was sitting there. You have Duncan for senior year, and we don't even get to have it. Mm-hmm. I mean. And I know he's not the only. I mean, all the schools were like, here we get 2 weeks of practice and we don't even get a game in, and it's canceled. And, man, that was
I think it was about Jamboree. I think it was about
awful.
Jamboree time.
It was awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, as far as if you look back at, this season as a whole, I think you got to say that the county in all sports was very successful. Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought we got in the basketball games we did.
Oh, you
right. I would have, after football.
Because football, look at all the challenges it had. We were quarantined.
Yeah.
I mean, every team around here seemed to be quarantined at some time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then to make it through a whole basketball season. And
I think maybe we lucked out with basketball because it was it started in May and it went through the whole summer, and I think by holiday everybody was just like they were done. They had reached their limit, and it was
we were quarantined at holiday season, so
I think everybody was
after
like, you know
that-
what, let's just go and let's just try and bring some normalcy back. But like you said, just to reiterate again, to the seniors this year.
The Thomas Industrial hat you got on, Coach
Yes.
Rhodes wants to know.
Yes,
I thought
that
it was.
is. Yes, that is. That is definitely a.
But they
a
are
huge
not
supporter of
sponsoring this round. Home MCI.
Yes.
It's S.
Home by
Home by
SMCI.
SMCI.
Gosh, it got me all stumbling over. Sorry about that, Crowdinger. But now that you're on the home side, so if you need some work done at your home,
Yeah.
Give them a call.
I haven't.
Commercial and
No, my air
residential.
conditioner's working.
Yeah.
My hole's covered up too, Ray.
And
It's not finished, but it's covered up.
Hey.
I tell you what, I mean, and there, and another, Ron Rhodes commits to that, but Thomas Industrial Coating is a huge supporter of Jefferson County athletes, Jefferson County sports across the board. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be Herculaneum, St. Pius, Grandview, R7, Crystal City, Festus. Hillsboro. It doesn't matter. He is a huge supporter of local kids, and so I attest to that. Just as Lawrence Crowdinger is too. I mean, he's a huge supporter of local athletics and local kids. So, a big attest to those two businesses, and we'd love to have any of you local businesses to support these local athletes, and what a better chance to get your name out there. Support will be on the Coach's Box, which was what we give back to the local kids here in our community, but more importantly, the local businesses that have struggled over the last 18 months due to COVID-19. So, if you're looking to sponsor, we'd love for you to have a sponsor one of our segments. So, with that being said, Ray, we're going to go ahead to press it over to you for a commercial here and a break, and
Going to talk some
Yeah, absolutely.
Cardinal news.
Uh-oh. What are we doing?
a lot of fun here with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Thanks so much to Lawrence over at Home by SMCI again. We'll throw that up there again. Give a call,
good old dinger.
636-337-4444. Home by SMCI is the time you come home. Commercial and residential now. So check them out. Home by SMCI. We are going to be right back. You're watching the Coach's Box.
Yep.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Ray Halbrook from Livestream STL.
And I'm Zach Bone with Festus Post 253 American Legion Baseball. Yep, no, I don't like that either. Let's go back.
Hi, I'm Ray Halbrook with Livestream STL.
And I'm Zach Bone with Festus Post 250.
Hi, I'm Ray Halbrook with Livestream STL.
And I'm Zach Bone with Festus Post 253 American Legion Baseball. This summer, we're partnering with Livestream STL for a fundraiser that will bring you every game of the 2021 season right here on Livestream STL. If you're interested in signing up, please click the link below. If you're interested in sponsoring one of these games, please contact Livestream. A portion of all proceeds will be donated back to the Festus American Legion Baseball program.
We hope to see you out at the ball field and online.
Better?
Perfect. I like it. I like it a lot.
Guys, I've always wanted to ask you this since you're both pitchers. What's your favorite pitch? It's a fastball? Okay, I know. It's a curveball. No? Okay, well, what's your favorite pitch?
Oh, yeah. Spitball.
The Main Street Sports Show. You never know what we're going to throw at you.
For fine Mexican cuisine,
A family atmosphere.
any place to watch your local sport teams. Come out to La Pechangas. Check out our 4 locations: Arnold, Herculaneum, Crystal City, and Bonter. Come out to La Pechanga.
Tell us we can't, and we'll prove you wrong. knock us down, and we'll get right back up. Call us risk takers, misfits, bad boys. But we know what we want, and it feels like American muscle, looks like advanced engineering, and smells like fresh, cut grass. Bad boy. Mow with an attitude.
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
You know, I do this for the love of the kids. I do it for the love of the coaches and the ADs because there's not enough high school coverage in the St. Louis area. There's just not. Once again, I get to keep my relationships with, you know, guys like you and a lot of the other great coaches and administrators and former athletes. And that's one of the cool things that we're going to do here, too, is, you know, I've been fortunate covering some great coaches and great kids, but, you know, the Caravan is, you know, I wasn't letting it die. And sure enough, we're here now, and, you know, the reboot is in full effect.
Hi, I'm Ray Halbrook from Livestream STL.
And I'm Danny Sigmund with Rock Memorial Post 283 American Legion Baseball. We'll be partnering this summer with Livestream to bring you all of Rock's action for the entire season online. If you can't make it out to the field this summer, please click the link below. You'll be able to watch all the action online. If any businesses out there would like to sponsor us, please reach out to Ray at Livestream STL. Part of the proceeds that are generated will go back to the baseball program.
We hope to see you online and at the ball field.
This is Coach Riley Blair from the Herculaneum Black Cats.
Hi, this is Coach Jarvis from the Herculaneum Black Cats.
Hi, this is Coach Zach McVeigh with the Jefferson Lady Blue Jays.
Hi, I'm Chris Miller from St. Pius X High School.
And you're watching the Coach's Box.
And you are watching the Coach's Box
on Livestream STL.
On Livestream STL.
And we are back here for round two of the Coach's Box here, our second segment here, and hope everybody's having a wonderful week here. I know we've got graduations going on. Give you guys just a little bit of an update on what we've got going on here for next week and the rest of this week here as well. Let me find my graphics here, but I do know tomorrow night we're going to be out at Grandview High School for graduation, but also tomorrow we will be out at we'll be out at Jefferson College for Main Street Sports. I'm trying to figure out Main Street Sports Standout. So that'll be at 3 o'clock. So check that out. We're doing a special Main Street Sports standouts for baseball and softball, and we're giving away plaques this year for those that are going to be the recipients. That'll be live from Jefferson College. Grandview at 8 o'clock, their graduation tomorrow night. And then also Saturday, the big game Saturday we got going on here, Rockwood Summit and Festus. That is at 11:45 a.m. That'll be our pregame. First pitch at 12 o'clock, live from Jefferson College as well, as we roll into our next segment here. And guys, we're going to open up the microphones, and we've got some things we want to talk about here a little bit going into the off season here with Misha rule changes. What were you going to talk about?
I think we're doing that segment 3.
Is that segment? Okay.
Well, but
we'll
let you do the choice here.
Okay.
You want to do Cardinals or Blues? Because there's some news going on either way with that we can discuss.
I think we should go Blues first.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, boys. Off season. I'll give you the question since I don't know hockey.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You just got routed 0-4 to Colorado. You are the GM. What is your plans now? What do you have to do? What do you have to do to compete for next season? What do you think?
Well,
don't all. It's like my class sometimes.
I think the biggest thing that the Blues have lacked this year was defense. I thought their defensive presence was a little less aggressive. That wasn't that mentality of, we're going to beat you by just out, freaking beating the crap out of you on the defensive end. And I don't think that the Blues did that this year. Now, I will say that we were battling some injuries and battling some other that stuff, but I honestly believe that, we didn't have that attitude of, I don't give a rat's rip who you are. I'm going to go beat the crap out of you, and it's going to make it happen. So I think, to me, that's where I think they need to be the biggest focus is bring back those defensive-minded guys and find a way to sign some defensive-minded guys.
In the Blues' defense, they were – you had Perron didn't even play.
I know.
You had Barbashev. It was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Bartuzo? Did he not play the whole time? We had a bunch of guys out, which is not an excuse. They should have played better than what they did. You got to at least get a win. But they got a lot of things to decide. Is Tarasenko, is he someone we got to keep? Robert Thomas. You bring back Steen, who was hurt a lot this year.
Steen, you mean
not Steen.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Shen?
No, it's an S.
Schwartz.
Schwartzy.
Sorry, Schwartz.
Yep.
Do you bring back Schwartz?
I think the biggest thing that they need to do is find a bunch of guys who play the style that Craig Berube.
Do you know who this is?
Yeah.
What's this guy's name?
I didn't even know he was here.
I don't know a bunch of the guys that played baseball in Jefferson County like 10 years ago, so I don't give a shit about
that.
Welcome
to see you.
So, no, I think the Blues need
to –
yeah, you're welcome. I think the Blues really need to get back to playing the style that helped them win the Cup. And you got to get guys to the front of the net.
Mm-hmm.
They want to beat around. That's why they're missing guys like Maroon. Because even though he didn't score a lot of goals, when you get traffic in front of the goalie, he can't see the puck, and then your snipers can do a lot more damage there. Plus the forecheck. You got to get forwards who want to play defense. You got to get defensemen who want to play defense. And I think Doug Armstrong is going to probably go into the offseason, and he's going to say, who do I need to get rid of? I think Tarasenko is the number one guy who probably needs to go. As much as I liked him.
Aren't you getting money off the books?
Well, it's $7.9 million off the books, so, yeah. Either I let him go ahead and get drafted by the expansion draft and just not protect him and say, see ya, or I go ahead and try to trade him. There's other guys out there who are going to play.
I don't think they're going to get rid of Tarasenko.
I'm going to say that's definitely a conversation piece.
It might be a conversation, but
why wouldn't they? What's he doing? What has he done the last 2 years?
I'm not saying they should, Chris. I'm telling you the
Blues won't. I'm going to tell you right now.
The Blues won't.
He hasn't done anything.
But they won't get rid of him.
Why?
They won't.
He's a carpenter on the Blues team.
No, wait, the Doug Armstrong and Mozeliak are not the same guy.
I agree. 100%.
I'm not saying they are.
Because otherwise, Arenado would already been in St. Louis like 4 years ago.
I'm telling you right now, Tarasenko's not.
I'm going to say if he doesn't get traded, I'm going to say he's going to get picked up in the expansion draft.
We'll see.
Same contract? I'm asking. I don't know. Is it going to be the same contract?
What?
Or is it whatever he's at? Or is it a new contract?
No, he's locked up for a while.
Agreed.
Okay.
Which is one of the reasons why if I'm the Seattle Kraken or whatever the hell they are, then I'm going to go ahead and take him.
Okay.
Because at least he's a guy that can sell jerseys and maybe tickets and at least a name recognition. He's just not. He's not playing the same way.
Okay.
He can't play that soft. If you're gonna keep Tarasenko, why wouldn't you keep Hoffman? You can get him, and he actually can score goals. How many goals did Tarasenko have this year? 7, if that. Hoffman had 17, and he only played in about 34 games.
So here's my next topic here, next question. Was it a GM issue or was it a coaching issue when you're either building the roster or you're coaching the team that was built and given to you?
I think when
you brought up, well,
yeah.
they need to create a team for the coach. Why can't the coach adapt to the team?
It's like this. You get guys and you think, okay, yeah, they'll fit our style, and they get here and it's like, no. That's not the guy. And you're going to make mistakes as general manager. Okay, Armstrong made some great decisions, and we won the Stanley Cup. He's also going to make bad decisions thinking, okay, yeah, this guy's done this in this place. He's got a reputation for this. And then every now and then, I mean, you look at Tarasenko. If you had told somebody 4 years ago that Tarasenko would be this bad, they'd say you're doing crack. Okay, you couldn't have saw it. He was the best player on the Blues. He got his extension. He's making a bunch of money. He's the highest paid player on the team.
Him and O'Reilly are the same. He has 2 years left. Contract paying him $7.5 million a year. And here's what Berube had to say about him. They asked, "Are the Blues confident Tarasenko can return to form next season and beyond? 30 goals a season. Blah blah blah."
Coach Jens wants to know if do you really know how to use a computer?
Who?
Ouch.
Okay. Well, I don't know. When I was at Crystal, I could use it pretty well when I was whooping Grandview's ass. How about them apples?
Oh my goodness!
Here we go.
Who knows? Berube said, "I don't know. Nobody knows the question of whether he's going to return like it is. But this summer is big for him, and from a training standpoint, making sure he returns healthy. They're not. I'm telling you right now, they're not getting rid of him.
I don't know about that.
So
I don't think anybody's safe.
What do you even the goalie?
I think Bennington's safe. I think O'Reilly's safe. After that, you got to listen to anybody who's going to give you a call. I don't think Kyrou. I think Kyrou's going to stay because he's young and I think he's got a lot of potential. I think Robert Thomas gets moved. I don't think he played as I don't think he fits the system.
Well, in this same article,
they traded Fabry, and everybody loved Robbie Fabry. Robbie Fabry had high upside, and they got rid of him because he didn't play the same way and then play the same style.
Right.
So why do you think any of these other guys are safe? It's hockey. It's not baseball where we're we're going to keep this guy because he has 1,100 hits for the team like Carpenter. Who gives a rat's ass about that? We want to win the damn Stanley Cup, and it's a marathon. That ends up, it's a sprint and a marathon that you got to be able to do all at once.
So do you
triathlon? Sorry, I couldn't think of it.
Tarasenko and 30 goal scorers don't just come. You're just not going to be able to just.
Tarasenko isn't going to score 30 goals in a season.
He has been riddled with injuries for 2 years.
Okay, so why would you?
So we let him get.
It's a shoulder issue. What do guys check with?
Their shoulders.
So
you aren't paying Tarasenko to check people.
Everybody on the Blues team has to be able to play that way.
It's set. You're not paying Tarasenko to check people.
Then
You're paying
there's
him
a
to
reason
score
why,
goals.
And he ain't doing it.
Right now, he's not.
So you got to go.
He's not going to go.
Bye.
But he won't.
So here's my
put a side bet on if you want.
Yeah, my take on it is a lot like this. Okay, so Tarasenko and the last couple of years. I mean, obviously, 2019 was a magical year and whatnot, but you didn't see the Tarasenko of his first 3 or 4 years. We bring in Hoffman, and this is the thing I love about Hoffman. He ain't afraid to shoot the puck. And you've got to find guys that know I've got a shot. I'm taking the shot, and you don't even apologize about it. That's the thing for me.
What is it? An offensive issue, defensive issue? What do you think? Because didn't they get smaller from the Stanley Cup? Weren't they rolling out 6'4", 6'5", 6'7"?
Yeah, I mean you got to you have to have forwards who and defensemen who actually want to defend.
What if we put him up for expansion?
Sure.
And he doesn't get picked.
Okay.
So then he's a Blue.
We could still trade him.
I agree. We're going to have to trade him then. Because, he's not. He ain't going to play worth a crap for you. You just put him out there for expansion. He's not going to play. He's not going to play well for you.
It's a conversation. I think Berube's the kind of guy who's going to sit down and say, listen, it's like this, man. And him and Armstrong the same way. I mean, they got to win. And if he's too afraid to do the stuff, to do the forechecking, to play a physical style that you still got to be able to play against another team. I mean, you talk about not only was Colorado faster and played faster, they were more physical. Shin tried to fight Landeskog, and he got his ass handed to him. And he's a physical dude.
Yeah.
So, and they're talking about Landeskog. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent. I would take him over Tarasenko right now.
I'm not arguing for Tarasenko. Like, I could care less if they get rid of him or not. I'm saying they're not going to get rid of him.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
30 goals. The potential there. The potential is there. And if they let him go and he scores 30 goals, then they're going to be...
Well, if the Earth's axis moves a certain way, there's a potential his phone's going to float. But I don't think that Tarasenko's going to score 30 goals. I think I got a better chance of watching that phone float.
Your personal feelings aside, I bet they keep him.
It's not my personal feelings.
I just bet they keep him. Agree to disagree. Sure. I mean, they may keep him.
But that's why I said that it's all about the defense.
You can argue with me till we're blue in the face.
That's what I'm saying. Is it an offensive thing? Is it
a defensive
what gets them back?
You still got to be able to score goals, though.
But they don't shoot.
They need somebody in front. They need somebody that can stand in front and do something.
Let me tell you.
And they tried to put Tarasenko there because he sucked out a wing, and that didn't work.
The only reason why the Stanley Cup was won in St. Louis was because of the defense. It flat out, you 100% say it.
Okay, then let's go back. Who did we let go?
Wouldn't it
let Patty Maroon go.
Okay, no, I'm talking defensively. Who did you let go?
But you also the guy with the heart problem?
Yep.
Yeah, Bouwmeester. And as much as everybody hated him, and I was one of those guys, I'm like, that guy's trash.
Since that happened.
Dude.
Wasn't the
Bouwmeester was the quietest, most solid defenseman we had next to Pietrangelo.
Parayko?
You let
Parayko hasn't taken over that.
You let Pietrangelo go, and you say that Falk.
Falk's not. He had a really good year this year.
But he's not Pietrangelo.
Okay.
And neither is Krug.
And that was my next one I was going to say. Yeah. So you tried to replace Pietrangelo with those two.
Yeah,
but this is why
it's not the same guy.
But this is why I ask you: is it, from what I gather, which is not much because I don't know, but it sounds like they went from a defensive style to an offensive style.
Well, and Berube doesn't.
Okay.
He's not good.
Okay, then that's my question.
Like 101
not
graded,
that they were going to
did
ever
you listen
get
to
rid
101 today? Not
No.
to bring up another show, but they graded his job this year at C.
Okay, so that's my question.
And Armstrong at like a B- or a C.
So would they have been better, not at getting another coach, but if he would have done something different philosophically?
Well, if he had more people like Maroon, if he had more people like his style of coaching, I don't know.
But why does he not adapt to the roster is my question.
Why should he have to?
Because
if that's your coach, you should get players that fit his.
But they didn't.
I know, that's stupid.
Okay.
And that's why Armstrong got a C probably by the fast lane or whatever today.
Got a couple of good ones here.
But I'm not a hockey guy. I'm just arguing.
Kevin Holly popped in here, I think.
Sundqvist, yes.
Sundqvist is missing, yeah.
Yeah, he got hurt.
You know, he thinks they're going to send Tarasenko to somewhere for the right deal, i.e. Jack Eichel. How about that?
Yeah, I don't think Eichel fits the system either, though. I think he's too finesse. And besides, you're coming from Buffalo. O'Reilly, at least he played somewhere else. Eichel's,
Delaware.
Yeah.
Going to Delaware.
Buffalo has – I mean, even O'Reilly's talked about how terrible the whole atmosphere in the Sabres locker room is. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I don't know if he can – I mean, look, it takes a guy who wants to put the team before himself. But you got to have some guys who are quick. They're nasty. They want to play in front of the goalie. They want to hit somebody. And then you have guys who can put the biscuit in the basket, and really you just don't have those guys. We just don't have them right now. I think Kyrou going to be a good player. That's why I would say I'd let Tarasenko go and just say, okay, if I had to, I'm going to keep Kyrou. I'm going to keep Robert Thomas, and I don't know, Zach Sanford. I think he's not very great. I mean, he's too inconsistent too. Schwartz, I think Schwartz needs to go. Schwartz is inconsistent.
I completely disagree with you.
Well, what are you going to? You're paying him that much money to just hope and pray that he scores. You got $13 million wrapped up between two guys that you hope that he plays healthy and tough and scores 40 goals. And then Schwartz, well, maybe he'll score, and maybe he won't. I mean, he does a lot of other things, but you can't pay somebody that much money to not put the puck in the goal. And that's the problem with Schwartz. That is the only problem with Schwartz. He doesn't score as consistently as he used to. Yeah. And look, you're playing hockey. Guys get older, they stop doing things they used to be able to do. Even Ovechkin isn't the same player he was years ago.
I think
How many goals does he have?
He still has more than anybody the Blues have.
Right.
If you look at our roster,
I said he isn't the same as before.
If you look at the roster and you say that they perform at their average over their career, this team is playing for a Stanley Cup again.
I mean, Schwartz.
But we had injuries. You got to think about all
Schwartz
of those.
Making $5 million.
I think all of that
Still a lot
stuff
of money.
takes into play, and I think that. I mean, as far as this season goes, for as many issues as the Blues had to deal with, I thought they played pretty solid.
I think
all across the board. But
yeah.
I think they were still lacking that defensive presence, like you talked about. being in front of the net, a Pat Maroon kind of guy that, wasn't afraid to get in front and make some things happen and wasn't afraid to do the dirty work.
I still think if you can keep Schwartz around the $5 million mark or even less, I think you keep him.
How many more years does he have on his contract?
He's done. I mean, he's a free agent.
He's free agent.
Yeah. He may go somewhere else if he wants to make money.
So Miller packages a Schwartz and Tarasenko for Landeskog, right? But Landeskog's
I'd like one of those Keith Kachuk kids to show up here.
Brady?
But, they're not going to give him up.
No, they're not going to give him up as much as that'd be great. But, I mean – it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Blues. I think they're going to make major changes.
I think Schwartz. I think Schwartz is someone you can sign. He loves St. Louis.
If he signs for less money,
Hey, I tell you who loves St. Louis. Albert Pujols.
Yeah,
don't get me started. My cousin,
who's right into the St. Louis Cardinals.
Why is that guy? Who's that guy?
Hey, well, he's playing for the Dodgers right now.
Yeah,
but anyway, go ahead before we pivot. Before we pivot
on to the other St. Louis
pivot.
They said O'Reilly was soft in Buffalo. Yeah, they did. And I think he's obviously proved different. But will that translate with Eichel, who's a younger player? O'Reilly played in Colorado before he went to Buffalo. So it wasn't like that's the only place he's played. Eichel plays center, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay, so we already got Shen and we already got O'Reilly. Do we need any more centers?
You got Bozak, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So do we need any more centers, or do we need some forwards that can shoot the puck and hit somebody and defend? That's what I would say. I mean, if Schwartz wants to sign for less money, that'd be great. Let's get him. Bring him back. Hey, some of these guys have got to realize that, I might want to get paid, but I'm not worth that much.
Well,
just saying.
Darren Moonier agrees with me. I think they're going to go after.
That'd be cool.
But
Keith
are they
Kachuk
going to give
great.
him up?
His kids are pretty good too.
Yeah.
No, we had to give up the farm to get him.
Well, I'm going to be curious to see how fast Armstrong goes at it. I think
it's happening. That's going to happen.
I think it's or does he say, okay?
I have more faith in Armstrong than I ever do the other dude over on the Cardinal side.
I agree. I 100% agree. But I also think that he looks back and says, okay, hey.
Nobody even knows our GM and the Cardinals' name hardly.
Gersh.
Gersh or whatever.
So
Gersh.
you look back at this season and you think about the adversity that team had to deal with. If they're all healthy and playing their potential, I honestly think the Blues are contending for a Stanley Cup again.
I still think they need defense, and I agree with Kevin. They need someone that puts the gosh dang puck in the goal more.
I agree.
And that's where you argue against Tarasenko, which I get.
He doesn't consistently do it.
No, he hasn't for 2 years. Mm-mm. Now, that shoulder's been jacked up, and that's an excuse, so who knows?
But there's the Blues. That's the Blues in a wrap-up. Let's move on to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Anybody hear anything that's going on lately with the St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah, apparently you can't have some stuff on your hat.
Some issues on the hat here.
That's why I had to take my hat off today.
I figured that's what it was.
You talk about it because I've got my own take on everything.
I'm waiting until Coach Jarvis gets back on here real quick.
He needs
something. Coach Jarvis.
Yeah, we're waiting on that guy.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach
Kevin
Jarvis.
Harley. Hold on a second.
Do you think it was Coach Miller didn't want to wear a hat tonight because he had that substance, that recruiting card that was underneath the bill of the cap that he didn't get to get out of there?
Yeah, because you public schools keep screwing up. We're just going to keep letting the doors open for all those other kids coming in.
Kevin,
care about your education? Hey, we got the highest ACT scores
Kevin,
in the county.
It's hard to agree with a softball/soccer guy, but I did.
Oh,
well.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting watching Schilt get all fired up. I think it's an interesting topic.
I think the biggest thing about the whole topic is, we talked about this earlier before. I love Mike Schilt. I mean, he is so determined when he is fired up about something. My goodness, is he good. I mean, I love listening to him.
He can give a little pep talk, too.
Oh, yeah. But I think that
And that
the
guy
biggest
that
thing
accidentally
Isn't that
put
why?
the one in there
I
in
say,
the
isn't that why
playoffs?
Randy
He's
A's
gone.
not here anymore?
Rosarito.
I know.
Hey, that
Kinda-
might be
that kind of sucked about
He
it. but-
gone.
might be the reason. But I think he had.
I
a
knew he was
valid-
gone as soon
very
as that
valid
happened.
point.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, I said, "Oh,
He gone.
he gone."
That's it.
But here's the thing, right? We're how many games into the season? We're in the 7th, 8th inning of that ball game, and that's when you choose to make a scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think Schilt was arguing about from the get-go.
Right.
And then to sit here and say, hold on, time out. You're going to single out this pitcher in this situation when any other game that you've been umpiring, you could have made the call. And then once again, you're talking about what's legal versus what's illegal, what's allowed versus what's not allowed.
Yep.
And now they're talking about the spin rates on the breaking balls and the this, that, and the other. Well, my take on all of this is the fact that it has nothing to do with sunscreen and rosin and putting that together, or it has nothing to do with whatever the illegal substances are that they're putting. Have you ever seen an actual Major League Baseball compared to, a college ball or a high school baseball? It's like, I don't know, whatever that is.
Crispy white.
It's flat. There's no seams. You want to protect your hitters, put some seams on the ball, and then the pitchers won't need substances. That's the problem. It's flat. It's a flat-seamed baseball.
I agree with that.
And, I mean, yes, they already put the Mississippi mud on the ball, and they do all of that, but it doesn't matter when you're I don't know, the baseball is as slick or is as flat as these cups are. Put some seams back on the ball. Then you don't have that problem.
I didn't realize they weren't
Flat,
the seams are
yeah.
that flat.
Completely different than what any kid in America is ever playing with, or college or whatnot. Completely different.
Right.
And so that's the issue.
What, do you think they should be able to put substances on the ball then?
They already do. It's called Mississippi mud.
No, I mean like that spider crap or whatever.
You've got your rosin bag, and
Sure.
you've got your sunscreen. That's
Yeah.
all you need. But the issue, they were talking about this today all day, and nobody ever brought that point up. And nobody understands that you want to change the game. You know, they talked about bringing the mound back another foot or doing all these changes. No, just make the baseball, make the actual equipment better for the players. You talk about player safety. That's the issue. Any batter in their right mind is going to say, let the pitcher put something sticky on their hand because I don't want to be drilled like what's his face.
Harper.
Yeah, killed my
Harper
fantasy team.
The other guy too that
Stanton.
Have you seen how he's pitched since he hit Harper? He hasn't lasted more than 3 innings since he hit Harper in the face.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's...
Here's my deal with this whole thing. I was talking to my wife about this today. There is a proper time to pull that out. That wasn't it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most coaches and umpires have kind of this unwritten rule that, hey, we're not gonna one up each other. We are going to, conserve the integrity of the game as much as possible. And even during, and I watched Schilt's his press conference last night. That's what's. I mean, the NFL, they want to protect the shield, right? MLB, they're there to protect the MLB. Do they? And he even come out and said, do they go after trying to find whatever they can as far as an advantage is concerned? Heck yeah, they do. But they do it they try to do it as best without trying to break the rule, okay?
That's still breaking the rule.
Well, listen.
I don't know.
I know.
Everybody in
this is what's
going
to happen. Listen to me. Mark my words. This is what's going to happen. Every time from here on out, because the Cardinals were the first ones to get caught doing this thing this year, okay? That didn't happen in 2006 when Kenny Rogers had 10 pounds of and it was pine tar all over his hand, all over his glove, all over. Okay, don't get me wrong. Tony La Russa didn't say a word about that. Why? Because he knows. Okay? Schilt would have said, if all they had to do was in between innings there, hey, we see this on him. Can you talk to him about it? I think that would have been, nobody would have been thrown out. everybody would have been all on the same page.
Well, nobody was. The only
You
reason
know?
why Schilt got tossed was, one, it was Joe West,
Right.
And you can't
talk
argue
to him.
against. Yeah, you can't say anything to
Right.
Joe West, because that's why. Hey, Jarvis, when you go spend $200 the next time that you go to a Cardinal game, and you spend $50,
Dude, I can't remember the last time I've been to a
Well, what
Cardinal
I'm just
game.
saying, it's not to see Arenado, it's to
Right.
see Joe West.
Yeah.
So just remember that when you're spending
Oh,
your
and they
money.
were talking so well about him.
That's just because he got that record, for however many games.
Right.
But the whole thing, and really, honestly, it wasn't even his call. It was I think the second base umpire that made
Saw it or
the
whatever.
So Joe was actually trying to protect our pitcher, but Schilt, I think they said he started cussing, and Joe was having none of that. But time and place, and I think that's what Schilt was trying, the message. But it goes back to, once again, it just seems like we want to put Band-Aids on broken arms rather than going to the root of the issue, which is the equipment in and of itself. It's what's going around comes around. So go back to when we were kids, it was the ball's juice because, chicks dig the long ball. Well, now this is a breaking ball league, and we want to see fastballs, and we want to see, 102-mile-an-hour fastballs and 95-mile-an-hour ungodly breaking stuff.
So putting stuff on the ball enhances performance.
Supposedly.
Not supposedly. I mean,
Yeah,
it's scientifically proven. If you
Get
increase
more
yourself 30%,
right.
yeah, increase your spin rate.
Right.
So what's the difference between them doing that and steroids?
Right. Yeah. Oh,
Okay. Just
I
throwing it
hear
out
ya.
there.
It's a testament to Zach McVay's theory that
All right.
steroids needs to be in baseball.
I like steroids, but I'd also like them, once again, to have a different baseball or different equipment. You don't need to completely change the game in and of itself. Hey, and the reason why? Because it's entertainment. Because they're
Are you not
professional.
entertained?
No, not once again. Not when
Zach McVay likes steroids, folks.
Ray is all about that.
I was
in baseball.
In baseball.
Finn, thank you.
Okay.
in baseball.
Yeah.
I'm not entertained in a baseball game when I feel like there is no rhyme or reason to the game. And I feel like as far as the game of baseball, and we talked very highly about it here around locally in the first segment, was I believe that baseball has become more of a hitting side